Hello and welcome to the class this morning. We're going to just start in a seated position on a blanket, or which I have here, or you can use a cushion if you want to, or just sitting on your mats. Just resting the hands down onto the thighs. Try and center yourself. Maybe just rock forward a little bit of your center and then moving back and just finding your center. Let's take a couple of moments to settle in. Lift up through the crown of the head. Draw those low ribs in just a tinchy bit and close the eyes. So relax the shoulders. Relax the face. We're just going to settle into our breath. First of all, just noticing where the breath is naturally settling. So it could be in the chest, it could be a bit lower down into those ribs, or it could be right down in the belly. You're going to start to deepen the breath now a little bit. So as we inhale, we're going to inhale through the nose. And as we exhale, we're going to exhale through the mouth. So inhale, fill the belly. And then exhale everything out through the mouth. Inhale, fill the belly. And exhale through the mouth. And again, inhale, fill the belly. Exhale through the mouth. Twice more, just like that. So inhale, fill the belly. Exhale through the mouth. Last time, inhale, fill the belly. Exhale through the mouth. And just coming back to a very soft inhale and exhale through the nose. Keeping the eyes closed, we're going to inhale and nod the chin towards the chest. And then exhale up to the ceiling. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bring the chin over the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, chin over left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, lift the chin. Inhale back to center. Exhale, drop the chin gently towards the chest. And inhale back to center. Exhale, chin over left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, chin over right shoulder. And then inhale back to center. And just exhaling here. Gently flicker open the eyes. Lovely. You're going to drop the right ear down towards the right shoulder gently. Now just opening up through that left side. We're just going to hold it here. Good. And then bring the head back to center and then very gently dropping that ear down towards that left side. Good, and then bring the head back into center. We're going to do a little rotation, just a seated rotation here. So just taking your right hand onto the outside of that left thigh, or left knee, sorry, and then bring that left hand directly behind you. So you're using the left hand like a rod to keep the spine nice and straight and lifted, so you're not kind of dipping back. And very gently, just starting to rotate those ribs around towards that left side. Drop the shoulders down. Good. And if you want to, you can let the chin go a little bit further so that you're looking out over that left shoulder. And just breathing gently here. Not pushing too hard into this twist. Another couple of breaths here, lovely. Good, and then releasing back to center. And then we do the same on that other side. So you're taking that left hand onto the right knee. Right hand comes behind, lift up to the crown of the head. And then very gently rotating the ribs around. And then letting the head go. Good, and then releasing all the way back into center. We're going to roll the shoulders in one direction to start. So just big circles. Good, and then rolling back in the other direction. Good, and then coming back into center. We're going to take the right hand to the right side, bring down to the right side of the mat. Lift the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to reach over towards that right side. Drop that right elbow in, right shoulder away from the ear. Bringing length into that left side of the body. So pressing down into that left hip. Good. Another breath or two here. And then coming all the way back up to center, reaching up with that right arm. Left hand comes a little bit away. You drop that left elbow in, drop that left shoulder, reach with those right fingertips. Again, just focusing on that right hip. See if you can get it to ground down a little bit more towards the ground. Good. And then coming all the way back up to center, we're going to interlace the fingers and press the hands away with the palms facing in to start. Drop the shoulders. Good, and then from here, we're just going to do a little rotation here before we lift the arms up. So keep the arms in front of the chest, keep the head lifted towards the sky, draw the low belly in, and then you're just going to rotate around towards that left side, keeping the arms in line with the chest. So you'll notice you can't really go very far. We're just going to hold here and then come back to center. So this is just bringing some awareness to how much you actually rotate around when you're doing those twists. It's not very far. It feels far when you're moving the head. When you keep those arms in front of the chest, you just kind of get to see what a teeny movement it is. Now we move over to the other side again. Good. Back through center and over to the other side. Good. Coming all the way back into center. Keep the shoulders dropped down. Press the palms away. Now you can keep a bend in the elbows here. We're going to lift the arms up over the head nice and slow. Try and keep all the fingers interlaced as you lift the arms up. That may mean keeping a bend in those elbows. If you can straighten the arms, lovely. If you can't, don't worry about it. Drop the shoulder blades down the back. And we're going to bring a little rotation into this as well. So we're going to rotate around towards that left side. Again, it's a teeny movement. Keep the head in between the arms so we're not dropping the ear towards one side or the other, and then move through center and back to the other side. Good. And then coming back to center. Lovely. And then bring the arms down. And then just release. That's just roll the shoulders. Good. Both directions. Brilliant. Okay, so from here we're going to come off our cushions. I'm going to come onto all fours. So just move the cushion or blanket, if you're using one, out of the way for now. And we're going to come onto all fours. So let's just get the shoulders and the wrist creases in line with each other here, and make sure the hands are shoulder distance apart. Good. Knees are hip distance apart. Brilliant. And then from here, we're going to drop the belly down and gently lift the chin. Just get a nice opening, a nice stretch for the belly here. Good. We're just going to hold it here for a breath or two. Shoulders away from the ears. Good. And we're going to move in the opposite direction now. So tucking the tailbone under, bring the head down. Good. So a lovely spinal stretch here. Good. And we're going to move all the way through back to our cow position here. So we're going to connect the movement to breath. So as you inhale, you come down, and as you exhale, you're tucking the tailbone under and coming all the way into that cat stretch. So just moving with your own breath, your own pace. Close your eyes here if you want to. Good. Let's do one more in each direction. And coming back into center, you're going to take the toes together, the knees to the edge of the mat, and you're going to set the bum right back towards the heels for child's pose. So you can rest your head onto your hands here, or you can extend the arms out in front and bring the head right down onto the mat, whichever feels good to you. Just trying to breathe into the back body here. So really kind of reaching the breath down into the ribs, the side body. And then as you exhale, trying to let go of any tension that you're holding on to. Maybe allowing the hips to rest a little bit more towards the heels. Good. And then one more breath here. We're going to come back up onto all fours. We're going to continue our theme of twisting. So we're going to take the left hand towards the center, like under your face. And you're going to reach up with the right fingertips towards the ceiling. Good. And then we're going to thread the needle here with our arms. So you're going to bring that right arm underneath as far as you can go and bring the head down towards the floor. Now, if the head and the neck don't feel good down here, you can grab your cushion and put it under your head. We're going to hold on here for a few moments. Taking a couple of breaths here. Getting a nice stretch in for the shoulder. Good, and then sliding that left hand in, you're going to come all the way back up, and we're going to do the same with that opposite side. So you just bring that right hand a little bit more towards the center, reaching up with those left fingertips. Good, and then reaching underneath. Good. Just breathing here. Brilliant. Another breath or two here. And sliding that left arm in, or right arm in, and then taking that left arm out. Good. Brilliant. And then from here, you're just going to take the right foot forward so that the right ankle and the right knee are in line with each other here and coming all the way up. Brilliant. We're going to take the hands in front of the heart. I want you to press the palms together. We're going to work into another twisted pose here. We're going to take that left elbow to the outside of the right knee. So keeping the thumbs to the center of the chest and then twisting that upper body around until you get that left elbow hooked behind the knee. And keep the arms pressed together, or the hands pressed together, so that the elbows are kind of opposite each other. Good. And then you can look up over that right shoulder if that feels comfortable. And then if you want to go a little bit further, you can curl the toes under of that left foot and lift that back knee off the floor. And press out through that left heel, really pressing the palms of the hands together to help you to rotate around. Good. Pushing out through that left heel so you get a nice lengthening into that left leg. Good. Another breath or two here. So you can either take the knee back down onto the floor or you can keep it lifted and come all the way back into center. Maybe reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling. We're challenging ourselves here a little bit today. And we're going to take the hands back down onto the floor. Bring that left knee down, sweep that right knee back, and come into our first downward dog. So spread the fingers nice and wide, curl the toes under, and lift the hips back up behind you. You can start to walk the dog, one heel down and the other heel down. It's a head go between the arms. Good. And then bring those knees back down. We're going to come back into child's pose. So you're going to take the knees out to the edge of the mat. You're going to take the toes together and bring the bum back down towards the heels, resting the head onto the hands here or onto the ground with the arms lengthened out. Good, just focusing on the breath again. Another breath or two here. And then coming all the way back up onto all fours. You're going to take the right foot forward now. So that, the left foot forward. Left knee and left ankle, the other leg basically, and the left knee and left ankle in line with each other here. Coming all the way up, pressing the hands in front of the heart. Good. And then rotating around and hooking that right elbow at the left knee. Press the palms of the hands together. Stay here, or if you want to, you can lift that back leg. Good, and start to look up over that left shoulder, pressing the palms together to help you rotate around. Good. Press out through that back heel to get the length in the leg. Well done. Another breath here. And then we're going to come all the way back around, either with the leg lifted or on the ground. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then the hands come down. And then the knee comes down. And we're going to press back up into downward facing dog. Again, you can pedal the legs or you can lengthen them, pressing the thigh bones back, lifting the sit bones up towards the ceiling. Good. And then from here, we're just going to walk the hands towards the feet or the feet towards the hands. I'm going to face you guys. I'm going to keep it low here for a moment or two. So just let the head go, let the arms go. Keep a bend in the knees here if you want to, or lengthen out through the legs, whichever kind of feels best to you. So really just releasing the head, releasing the arms, and pressing the weight back into the heels a little bit here. Get a nice stretch into the back of the legs. And then we're going to just bend into that right knee, feeling a stretch in that left side, and then straighten the right knee, and then bend the left knee. Good, and we're going to see if you can take the right hand to the left ankle here, or onto the calf or onto the thigh, wherever you can get to. And then we're going to reach around with that left arm. Good. Releasing that left arm down. We're going to do the same with that other side. Left hand comes across, right arm reaches up. Good. Releasing both arms back down. Maybe holding on to the elbows here. Letting the head go completely. You can move it around, swinging from side to side. So just allowing the back of the legs to open. Really let the head go here so you're not holding any tension in the neck. Good, and then when you're ready, you're just going to release the arms, and we're going to bend the knees slightly and roll up through the spine. So as you're rolling up through the spine, make sure that the arms are kind of free and that the head is free. We're not holding the neck. The last thing to slot into place are the head, the neck, and the shoulders. You can start to straighten the legs. Allow everything just to slot back into place. Brilliant. From here, let's go wide with the legs. Good. We're going to turn the right toes towards the top of the mat. Your left toes are going to point forward. Good. And then from here, you're going to bend into that right knee. So you might need to lengthen a little bit on the mat, or adjust yourselves as you bend in. So what you want is the knee and the ankle in line with each other here. Good. Let's just focus here on the inner thigh. So you're going to press the hand into the inside of that leg, just to kind of make sure that the knee isn't kind of dropping forward. Good. Then you're going to lift the arms up to shoulder height here. So just have a little check, make sure they're not up or too far down. Good. And then look out over those front fingertips. So opening the chest here. Good. You're going to turn the palm of that front hand up, and then you're going to reach behind for peaceful warrior. And then we're going to come all the way back into warrior two, and we're going to come right down with that right arm resting onto the right thigh, and left fingertips reaching up. And if you want to, you can reach them over parallel with your ear. So we're opening up through those left ribs. Good. Another breath or two here. We're going to press the floor away with those front feet and come all the way back up to our warrior. Our warrior two, looking out over those front fingertips. Good. We're going to bring the arms down. You're going to straighten that foot and leg, turn the toes in and turn the other toes out. Again, maybe lengthening through the legs a little bit more. And then coming down into warrior two with the legs first of all. So again, just press the hand in against the thigh, just encouraging that leg, that inner thigh to open here. Good. And then reaching out with those arms, looking out over those front fingertips. Good. Turn that front palm up towards the ceiling, then reaching back. Good. And then coming all the way down with that forearm onto the thigh, reaching up with the fingertips. And then if you want to, you can open up. Again, focusing on those right ribs, rotating around towards the back. Good. And then coming back into your warrior. And then bringing the hands down, straightening to that leg, turning the toes in. And we're going to just heel toe the feet in a little bit here. And we're going to turn the right toes out again. The back toes either pigeoned in a little bit or straight out. And we're going to work here into Trikanasana to start with. So just have a look at the front leg for a moment. What I really would like you to focus on is what's happening in the front of the leg here. So rather than focusing on trying to get that leg dead straight, sometimes what we do is we press that knee back so far that we're overstretching in the back of the leg. So focus on just lifting the kneecap with those front legs. Make sure those quad muscles are really kind of switched on. Good. Press into the heel of the back foot. Lift the arms up and then reach out over the front toes. It does not matter where the hand comes as you come down. It can be here, it can be here, it can be down here. Good. Take the left hand onto the hips and again you're rotating around with those ribs towards the back. And then if you want to, you can reach the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. The palm is facing forward. Maybe bend into that front leg a couple of times and then straighten it and feel the kneecap lifting. Feel those quad muscles switch on as you do that. Good. See if you can get that left hip to rotate around towards the back a little bit more. Good. And you're reaching long with the spine. So the crown of the head is reaching forward. Good. Another breath or two here. We're going to come all the way up. You're going to press into that front foot. The hands come into center and you drop them down. Turn those right toes in. Turn the left toes out. Good. A little look at that leg before you do anything. Lift the arms, reaching out over those front toes and dropping the hand down onto the ankle or anywhere there. Maybe that right hand to start on the right hip and feel yourself kind of rotating around in the hip, rotating around with the ribs. Good. And then reaching up with that arm. Good. Maybe bending into that front leg a couple of times just to see what's happening. Good work. Another breath or two here. I'm going to press all the way up, drop the hands down, turn the toes in, and then we're going to turn around again towards the other way. So those right toes turn out. With the back foot this time, I want you to kind of swivel the foot forward so both toes are facing in frontwards towards the top of the mat. Make sure you've got a little bit of space, that your feet aren't kind of directly in line with each other like that. Good. Okay, so we're going to bring a little bit of a rotation, a little bit more of a twist into this next pose. It's called Revolve Triangle, and we don't have to go too far with it to get a really nice twist. So you're going to take your right hand onto your right hip. You're going to lift the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Okay, and then we're going to reach out forward. So really kind of lengthening from the hips rather than kind of collapsing down. Reach, 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 reach. Good. A little bend maybe into that front knee to start to avoid sort of pressing into the back of the leg. And we're going to drop the hand down towards the floor. If you need to bend the knee for this right knee, then go ahead and do it. Woo, don't fall over like me. Good. And then we're going to bring the rotation into it. So you can sweep that right arm up towards the ceiling. And then naturally your head sort of starts to look up towards those right thumbs or anywhere on that right side. If your leg is bent, maybe practice a couple of times straightening and bending, straightening and bending. If you have length in the back of the legs, what you can do is start to kind of wiggle that left hand, maybe over closer towards the foot, maybe to the opposite side. Again, just depending on balance. Mine isn't great today, so it doesn't feel amazing. Good. And then bringing that right arm down, just resting here, resting in inverted commas, with both hands down on the ground. Let the head go. Let's bend into that right knee a little bit, and then lengthen, and then bend, and then lengthen. Good. And coming all the way up, putting the hands onto the hips. Good work. Turn the toes in. And just hold here for a moment. Good. That really works the body in lots of ways. There's lots of length in the back of the legs, but it's also for balance. And for me, balance just doesn't feel great today. So I will admit I am struggling with that one. So I'm going to turn those left toes towards the top of the mat. The right foot turns in as well. Again, just figuring out where you feel good with the position of the legs in terms of, do you want them very far apart? Maybe that would feel like a little bit more secure as you go down. Or are you okay with them a little bit closer together? So bringing the hands onto the hips to start. Open the chest, lift up through the crown of the head, and then reaching that right arm up towards the ceiling. Good. And then keep the left hand where it is on your hip. A little bend into that left leg. You're going to reach all the way forward. Reach, 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 reach. Good. Look down towards the mat. And then when you're ready, see if you can bring that right arm down to the mat. Good. And then at some point, seeing if you can release that left arm and bring a little rotation into it. Keeping that left hip crease moving backwards. Good. And press into that right heel. Again, if you need to bring a little sort of micro bend or a bigger bend into that left leg to start this, then go ahead and reaching around, opening up through those left fingertips. Think about rotating the ribs around. Then maybe seeing if you can wiggle the hand over, maybe just an inch or two. Maybe it's all the way to the other side of the foot. Good. You can bend into that left knee and straighten it a couple of times. Pressing into that right heel, so the foot that's at the back. Good. Another breath or two here. And then that arm comes down. We'll bring the hands either side of the feet. Little bend into that left leg. And then straighten a couple of times. Good. And then you press the floor away. Come all the way up. Bring the hands onto the hips. Brilliant. And then turn the feet forward. Lovely. And then just bring the legs a little bit wider. So we're going to come into a forward fold, which should feel kind of nice after all of those twists. Again, just check the feet. Make sure the toes are pigeoned in a little bit and not kind of turning out. Open the chest. And then folding from the hips here. So again, you get that lovely length into the back of the legs. You're going to bring the hands down onto the floor, under the shoulders. Make sure the hands are shoulder distance apart. Adjusting the legs as you need to here. And you're going to let the head go. The elbows, if they're bending, make sure they're pointing backwards. Make sure both feet are in line with each other. Good. Another breath or two here. And then you're going to bring the right hand into the center and we're going to open up through that left side. Good. Bring that left arm down. You're going to open up through the right side. We do that a few more times. So right hand comes down, left arm opens, left arm down, right arm opens. And just moving with the breath. Once more to each side. And then coming back into center. And then the head go again. Lovely. And just walking the hands underneath the shoulders again. Heel toe the feet in a couple of times. Really kind of powering up the legs now. Pressing the feet into the floor. Take the hands onto the hips. And come all the way back up to standing. Good. Heel toe the feet in. Good. Let's bring the feet together. I really want you to bring the legs together. So kind of powering up the legs, squeezing the thighs together so you feel really kind of strong in your standing, and bringing the hands in front of the heart. Close the eyes. Draw the low belly in. Lift the crown of the head up. Good. And then release the hands down by your side. You can open your eyes. We're going to work into tree pose here. So I'm going to work on the right side first of all. So you're going to take the left heel. You can bring it to the ankle or you can bring it anywhere up the leg. Maybe not pressing too much into the knee here. You can bring it right up to the top of the inner thigh. And bring the hands in front of the heart. So you're trying to press that left leg back, really lifting up out of that right leg, the standing leg. And then getting your focal point, which should be at your eye line or a little bit higher. See if you can lift the arms. Tree pose. Good. Release the arms down. Release the leg down. And just shake it out. And in your own time, moving on to that other side. So again, just really kind of standing out of that left leg, not sinking down into the hip. And then lifting the leg up. Hands to the heart. Press that foot against the thigh and the thigh then back against the foot. And you might feel that leg, that right leg, that knee opening up a little bit further as you do that. Reach the fingertips up. Shoulder blades down. Good. Releasing the arms, release the leg, give a little bit of a shake out. Come to the top of the mat. Feet hip distance apart. We're going to reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And we're going to bend the knees and we're going to roll all the way down to the floor with the hands. Good. Just resting here just for a moment. Let the head go. Big breath in, fill the back of the ribs and the side of the ribs. Palms of the hands come onto the floor. Step back with the left. Step back with the right. We're in plank pose here. If you need to bring the knees down onto the floor, bring the knees down. Otherwise, you're in a full plank. Hands are underneath the shoulders. They're also shoulder distance apart. Press the floor away. Press out through the back of the heels. Crown of the head moving forward, draw the low belly in. Lovely. And then from here, we're going to lift right up with those hips back into downward facing dog. Let the head go, just nodding yes and no with the head a couple of times, just to really allow the shoulder blades to move down the back. Press the floor away with the hands. Good, and then bring the knees down onto the floor. Toes together, knees apart. Sit the bum back towards the heels. Rest the head down onto the hands. Just breathing into the back body, side body. Good, and then slowly, slowly rolling all the way back up. We're just going to take a little moment here on sitting on our feet, if that feels comfortable. Resting the hands down onto the thighs, lift up through the crown of the head. Just take a moment. Lovely. And then finding the floor with your bum, extend your legs out. And we're going to take the left heel and bring it in towards the top of the right thigh. It doesn't matter really where this left leg lands. It can be further down, it can be away as well. I don't want you to get too kind of caught up with the exact positioning of the foot. The right leg is straight out in front, so the heel and the sit bone are more or less in line with each other here. Good. And then from here, we're going to lift the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Again, we're going to just do a little bit more rotation. So keep going with this twisting theme. I'm going to just rotate the ribs around a little bit here. You're not trying to get past the leg really. Just rotate over towards the right side, and then we're going to reach forward with the hands. If you need to bend this right knee, that's totally fine as well. It does not have to be straight. So whatever kind of feels good for you, just keeping the rotation of the ribs, bringing the head down, let the shoulders go. Good. See if you can lift up out of the base of the spine a little bit. And as you do that, you might get a little bit more length forward. Good, and then sliding the arms back up. You're going to release that left leg. Good, and then we're going to take the same on the other side. So the right leg comes up, bent knee, straight leg, doesn't matter. Lifting the fingertips up towards the ceiling, rotate the ribs around, and then reaching forward. What can be nice here is if you want to bend the knee and then straighten it a couple of times. If it feels like you're still a bit tight. We've done lots of lengthening the legs, so hopefully it feels okay. I'll be lifting up from the tailbone a little bit. See if you can get a little bit of length into the spine. Shoulders away from the ears. Good. And then just slowly, slowly coming all the way back in. You're going to release that leg. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. Let's do a little bit more of a seated twist here. So what we're going to do is take the left leg in again here. Okay. And then you can keep this right leg straight. We're going to take the right arm and see if you can hug the elbow, that right elbow onto the left knee. The left arm comes behind, a little bit like when we, at the start of class, when we do our seated twist. Lift the chest up, lift the crown of the head. Use that arm as a pole to keep you nice and open, so you're not kind of dropping back. You may want to drop back to twist the chest around, that's totally fine, but then see if you can lengthen up with the arm, lengthen through the spine. Good. You're rotating those left ribs around. If you want to here, if you feel like you have a little bit more space, you're going to take the left elbow and bring it in front here. If it feels really weird and awkward, stick to this. Good. See if you can press that right thigh down a little bit. See if you can lengthen up a little bit more through the spine. Brilliant. Good. And then we're going to release around to the front. Left leg straightens, right leg comes in, so that the heel is kind of roughly in line with that right sit bone. But if the leg needs to move out a bit further, then that's totally okay. So you're going to hook that left arm around. Right hand comes behind, so it's the center of the spine. Lift the chest, lift the crown of the head, press that left leg down. If you feel like you want to move the elbow around to give you a little bit more twisting leverage, then go for it. Good, another breath or two here. And then releasing back to the front, and then release that right leg. Just give a little bit of a twist or a little bit of a shake. And then come forward on the mat, just kind of adjusting as you need to before we lie down. Feet hip distance apart, so just checking the heels, maybe in line with the sit bones here, holding onto the back of the thighs, and then just rolling that spine down onto the mat. Good. Okay, so from here, I want you to draw the heels in just a little so that you can kind of maybe just touch the heels with just the fingertips to the heels. Keep the knees hip distance apart. We're just going to roll up and down into a couple of bridges here. So the palms of the hands are down on the floor. Should be no tension in the neck. Just roll from side to side a couple of times. We're going to just slowly roll the tailbone so that the first little thing to come off the floor is your bum, your low back. See if you can get each vertebrae off the floor one by one, coming all the way up into this lovely bridge so that the knees, the hips, the ribs, the shoulders are all in one straight line here. Good, and then you're going to roll all the way back down onto the floor. So again, you're trying to get each little vertebrae back down one by one, and then again rolling all the way up, and then all the way down. Make sure you're not holding the breath. Let's do one more. Rolling all the way up, and then all the way down. Good. And then from here, we're just going to take the right leg and cross it over the left leg. We're going to shift the hips over towards the right side, and we're going to drop the knees down towards the left. Maybe extending the arms out if that feels okay. Good. And then looking out over those right fingertips. So again, another little reclined twist here. Just going to hold it here for a little bit longer than usual. Good. And then just bringing the head back into center, lifting the Arms from the floor, pressing into the elbows and then lifting those legs back up. Recenter the hips, uncross the legs. And just hold it here for a moment before we move on to that other side. So you're going to cross that left leg over, shift the hips towards the left this time, drop the knees down towards the right. Bringing the arms out if it feels okay to do that, and then looking out over that left side. Make sure the shoulders away from the ears here. Good. And then looking back into center, press into the elbows, lift the knees, shift the hips back and uncross the legs. Brilliant. Just take a moment or two here. Good. Let's just bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to drop out to the side. You can rest your hands onto your inner thighs. You can bring your arms behind if that feels good, or you can rest your hands down onto your belly. Just allowing the knees to drop out. So actually pressing the feet together a little bit more can kind of bring a bit more of an opening there. So maybe play around with that and see how that feels. And if you feel like your ribs and your chest are lifting up off the floor and you're in this kind of big arch with the back, just grab your blanket or your cushion and you can rest it under your head. So that should help with that a little bit. Release the shoulders. And close your eyes. Breathing into the belly. Good. And then slowly now just taking the hands to the outside of the thighs, press the knees together. Maybe bringing the knees together and bring the feet to the edge of the mat just for a moment. Good. And then we're going to release the legs all the way down the mat. Allow the feet to roll out to the side and then just doing what you need to do to get really comfortable. So either the head on your cushion or you can bring it under your knees. Get a blanket, put your socks on. Returning the hands, the palms up towards the ceiling, making sure there's space between your body and your arms. Releasing the jaw, allowing the tongue to float to the roof of the mouth. Let the eyebrows sort of melt down the side of the face. Relax the area between the eyebrows and the forehead. And let the back body completely melt into the mat. Let the front body sink into the back body. Then let the front part of your brain, the thinking part of your brain, just let that melt back. So slowly now, just beginning to bring your awareness back to the room. Back to your body and your breath. We start to bring a little bit of movement into your fingers, into your toes. Very slowly now begin to stretch the whole body. So reaching the hands behind, stretching the toes away. And then let's bring everything in. So just drawing the knees in over the belly. Be rocking from side to side. Little circles. And then when you're ready, just going to roll onto your right side. Nice and slowly. If you can keep the eyes closed, that's great. Just resting your head onto your hands and taking this last little moment to yourself. Good. And then maybe half opening the eyes, not fully. And start to slowly come back up to a seated position. Just getting yourself comfortable for the last few moments. Resting the hands down onto the thighs. Lift the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Just taking note of how the breath feels, how the body feels, how your mind feels. And if you like to bring your hands in front of your heart, take a little bow forward. Namaste. Thank you for coming to practice. Well done.